The second principle of strategic case making is to name the power of the moment to shape the future. And there are two things going on in that principle that are really important. The first one is to name the power of this moment. And the reason you want to do that is so that people prioritize the issue that you're talking about, but also so you get them to position themselves as decision makers in the current moment, right? We have to make a decision. Things have to be done right now. There's urgency in it, there's priority in it, but also you're positioning people as decision makers in that conversation. The second part of it is that future orientation. The future orientation is so important. We don't use that enough in the social justice field. Thinking about the future. The future is something that hasn't been created yet. The future is something we haven't done yet. So there's so many possibilities for what we could do. And the importance of that for case making is when you can put people into the future and the possibilities are endless, they get more optimistic, right, about what's possible because we can work together to figure it out. So in that part of the work, we use a technique that we call future pacing. You want to pace people out enough into the future, give them all the sights and sounds of that, and then talk about, right, what it takes to get there. The decisions that we make now actually shape that future. Let me give an example out of my personal life. I'll just share. I remember when I was finishing up graduate school and I just graduated my PhD. I was lucky enough not to have loans and all this kind of stuff. And so I had the opportunity. I just bought a house, a little small starter home, and I was going out to buy my first car. And so I go up to the car dealership to get my first car. And I was thinking about I was going to be very modest and get something, really affordable and really small because I wanted to, save up those kind of things. That's my first little job. And I go into the dealership and I looked around at some cars, but right in the middle of the showroom was a little red convertible. And I had never been in a convertible. I'd never even been up close to one. And so I just kind of looked at it just because I was curious about like what it was. And the salesperson comes over to me and he says, "Hey, you like that car?" I'm like, "I love it. I'm not even thinking about that." He said, "Well, you don't have to be thinking about it. Just get in it. Just, I said, "I've never been in one." He said, "Well, just get in." And so I got in the driver's seat and I was looking around and I knew for sure I was not about to buy a red convertible of anything, right? So I get in the middle, I'm in this car and I'm looking around and it's very nice. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm certainly appreciating it. And then he says, "Put your hands on the wheel." I go, put my hands on the wheel. And he says, "Look just look out." And he said, "Let me paint the picture for you. It's a beautiful sunset, the end of a day. You've had a long day at work. You're driving on the open road, not another car anywhere on the road. It's a warm day. You got your music going, all your favorite tunes, you're rocking hard. Your hair is blowing in the wind, not a care in the world. The horizon is in front of you, and you are just having one of the best moments of your life." And I was all into it. I was, whoa. I mean, I'm just all into the dream and the vision, and I was, okay, I'm vibing with that. And I like to say, hey, listen, I'm human. When I drove out of that dealership in that little red convertible, my hair was indeed flowing in the wind, right? It's one of the best cars I ever had. But what I would say to you is that what he did was, which was really powerful, he paced me out into the future. What does it look like when you're living the dream of what you want to happen, when you can feel and you can taste the future where anything is possible? The aspiration in you rises to the occasion. That's a part of what we have to do in strategic case making. It's a part of what we have to do to get folks who are really negative about affordable housing and childcare and blah, 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 right? To lift up to the aspiration of what our communities could actually look like. I'm going to give one more, not an example, but I want you to think about something. I want you to think about why there are so many lottery tickets sold in the United States every year. We sell trillions of these little tickets, which are nothing more than these little squiggly numbers on them. And most people don't even stop to figure out what numbers they specifically like. So they're not even wedded to the numbers. They go and buy a quick pick of the Mega Millions or the Powerball or whatever it is. Trillions of these little tickets. When you ask people, you don't think you're really going to win that. And you ask people if they really think they got a shot at it. They say, "No, I'll never win that. I'm not really winning." And so what's really astounding is I want you to think about then, why are there so many sold? If people don't have any real expectation that anything will result in it, but we buy trillions of them, what's happening there? What's happening is that second principle of strategic case making, that little ticket, right, as crazy as it is, transports people, right? Even if it's just for a day or two while they got the ticket in their pocket or whatever it is before the drawing happens, it transports them into the future about what's possible. What if I won? Wow, what could I do for myself, my community? What could my life look like? What could my future look like? What would my community look like? Wow. And so what I would say to you as a strategic case maker, if we are selling trillions of these little tickets to the future through our lottery systems, why aren't we taking people there in terms of our case making? So one of the things that we often do in our work is to make sure that at the top of the case that we're building, we're taking people into the future and naming the power of the moment to get us there.